Hello friends, as everyone know, because of COVID-19, we are not able to conduct our regular or we can say traditional classes. I believe that this is the chance to come forward. I believe that this is one of the opportunity to overcome from such a problem as we know. The need is a mother of invention. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman Dr. Amar Patil sir, Principal Dr. N. Zulpe sir, and Vice Principal M. Kaji sir for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. So here we start our academic year 2020-21. In this semester we have Advanced Java Programming. The first unit, that is a multi-threading. As we know, the multi-threading is one of the feature of a Java programming. Java programming, as we know, the Java programming is a general purpose object oriented programming language developed by Sun Microsystem of USA in 1991. This Java program originally called as awk by James Gosling. Who is the James Gosling? The James Gosling is the team leader of a green project. The green project, the name of the team, that is a green project. Here we are going to observe the features. Before we begin with the multi-threading this unit, we are going to observe the features of the Java programming language. Now see the features of the Java programming language. That is, first, Java use a compiler and interpreter. What is a compiler and interpreter? The compiler and interpreter both are the translator. Why we require the translator? Because the syntax of the Java that are written in a higher level language. It means that syntax are directly not understandable by the system, or we can say as a machine. So we have to convert this syntax, or we can say as a source code, into the machine code or machine understandable code. But before we convert this source code into machine understandable code, we go through the two phases. In a first phase, we use the compiler, and in a second phase, we use the interpreter. As we know that in many languages they use the compiler, and in many languages they use the interpreter. Compiler compile whole program at a time and generate an machine code in other languages, or we can say as a object code. And interpreter also do the same thing, who interpret one line at a time and execute the or run the program. So here both are the translators who convert the source code into the machine code. In the first page we use the compiler. The compiler who translate this source code translate by the compiler into the bytecode. Bytecode is also known as a intermediate code. It means we develop our Java program, the extension of the Java program, that is the Java. That file, like here we have a program like class example. The name of the class, that is a example. Static public void main string arguments. We pass the parameters through command line argument. So here then after we display one message, that is welcome to Java. So this is our small program. So this is what and our source code. Now this source code is a readable code. writable code, right? But this code is not machine understandable code. That's why we have to convert this code into the machine code. First, first of all, we have to use what? We have to use the Java compiler. By using the Java compiler, we are going to Java compiler, that is Java C is a Java compiler here in a Java. Then after the name of the file, example, and the extension of the file, that is a Java. After compiling this file, if suppose any error is there, it will show us. If not, then we come to the command prompt. So here you can see, here we generate the class file. The class file is nothing. This class file contains the bytecode. This bytecode is not machine understandable as well as the human understandable code. Like you see, the class type example dot class. This is not a readable, understandable, right? And similarly, it means any human can also not able to read, or the machine also not able to understood this particular code, right? So this is an bytecode. We can say as a we create or generate the class file. So in this first we convert the Java file into the class file. This class file is nothing but the bytecode. This class file contains the bytecode, and this class file is a error contain the errorless code. If suppose we have an error in our program, there the compiler will not allow you to create the class file. So here this class file is a errorless code. That's why it gives us high performance. This is another one feature of the Java. And in a second phase, this bytecode we can able to execute this bytecode that we translate by using the interpreter into machine code, machine understandable code, or we can say as a object code, right? So this bytecode we can able to execute on the same system or in any other system also, right? We can able to move this particular bytecode in other system. But if suppose you want to execute this program in other system, you have to create the Java environment. It means we create this application for any other system. That system we call as a virtual machine, right? So and in Java we can say that is a Java virtual machine where the Java environment is going to develop first, and then after you can able to execute this bytecode. Then after we are looking forward the next feature of the Java, that is a platform independent and portable. The Java is a platform independent and portable. It's a one of the significant contribution of the Java over other language. It's a portability. The Java program can be easily moved from one computer system to another, anytime, anywhere, and anything. Right? If suppose the changes and upgrades in an operating system, processor, or any other devices, right, will not force any changes in a Java program. It means we can able to directly move or copy our byte code into another system, and we can easily execute it without any changes. This is the reason why the Java has become a popular language for programming. Right. We can download a Java applet from a remote computer onto our local system through the internet and execute it locally. It means in a Java we can able to develop the application program as well as the applet programs too. Right. In applet program we can able to provide the graphical user interface to our user. In application program also we can able to provide the graphical user interface to our user. Hence they can able to use our application user friendly. So the Java ensure the portability in two ways. The first, Java compiler generate what? Java compiler first generate the bytecode that we call as the intermediate code also. So the first Java compiler generate the bytecode instruction that can be implemented on any other system, right? And second way we can ensure the portability because of the primitive data type that we are used in a Java. This is a primitive data type. The size of the primitive data type is a machine independent. It means whatever the primitive data type that we have in a Java, that all primitive data types are machine independent, and that's why you can able to move or copy your program from one system to another system, right? So here this is our second feature. Then after we move towards the next feature, that is a object oriented. Java is an object oriented programming language. We can say Java is a true object oriented programming language. Almost everything in a Java is an object. All the programming codes and the data reside within an object and a classes. Like you can see in this particular example, whatever you are written, that all the things is there in a class, right? In a class, we may have static as well as a non-static. Here, string, anything like string arguments. Okay. So, in a class, we may have static as well as non-static variables as well as the methods. Okay, functions that we call as a methods. You see here the main function. This main function is a static function. It means this function belongs to class, not an object. Okay, but everything is there in a object. Like example. Okay, this is the name of the class. In this class, you declare the main function and that main function is of static type. Okay, similarly you can able to create number of variables, number of methods in this class, but everything is there inside this opening and ending curly brace, and that's why it is a more secure. It's a true object oriented programming language. Whereas in C and C++, you can able to define the function outside the class. You can able to define your variable globally, and that's why these are global variables that you can able to use in everywhere, right? And they are not secure and they are not the part of the object. But here in a Java, everything is there in a object. Everything, all the fields, all the methods are there in a object, reside inside the object. Java comes with an extension of a set of classes, right? It means as you observe when you learn on C++, right? At that time you observe some of the basic concept of the Java, that is a object. Okay, it means whatever the problems that you have, that problem you can able to solve by using the object. And we are going to create the class. What is a class? Class is nothing but the entire set of data and code. Okay, so whatever the fields that you create, fields are nothing but the data members in a C++. Here we call as a fields, right? Then the functions that we use, that we call as a method here in a Java. Okay, so that may be a static as well as a non-static, but all these are within a class. The entire set of data and code, okay, reside inside the class. Encapsulation, okay, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. These are the basic concepts that should be followed whenever you are going to implement or solve that problem in a through the object oriented approach. Okay, so we can say that is an object-oriented programming. Then here in a Java, they are going to provide one of the basic wonderful feature, that is a package, right? It is one of the extensible feature of the Java, right? Which contain the number of set of classes, right, that we can able to arrange as per your operation. Then after the next feature, that is the Java is a robust and secure language. Why it is a robust? It is a strong language. Why it is? Because uh, it has a strict compile time and a runtime checking. Whenever you compile the data, as well as at the time of execution, it will strictly uh, check everything. Okay, so here Java is a robust one, or Java is a robust language. It provide many safeguards to ensure the reliable codes. Okay, it is a design as a garbage collector. Garbage collector, what is a garbage collector? Garbage, it means what? Unwanted things. Okay, the objects that you create, we create number of objects in our program. Okay, but uh, we you assume that from that object some objects are not required in the future. So why we are going to waste such a memory? So we have to collect such a unwanted objects by using the garbage collector. Okay, and we can able to manage our memory. Okay, so that you can able to solve the memory management problem. Java also incorporate the concept of exception handling. Okay, exception, there are so many errors which are there in our program. That may be a syntax error, that may be exception error. Syntax error, whenever we have a syntax error, the syntax error can able to solve by using the compiler as well as it compiler. But these exceptions are nothing but the abnormal errors, and such abnormal errors we can able to solve by using the exception handling. And another one feature, that is the pointer variable. The pointer variable is the part of the C and C++ language, whereas they are going to eliminate the pointer variable from the Java. Okay, the pointer variable, as we know, pointer variable is a variable that to acquire the address of another variable of a similar data. And that's why what happened, whenever you are going to acquire the address of another data type, you can able to manipulate with the original variable, original values, and you can able to change, you can able to update, and that's why that is not that much secure. Okay, this pointer is a powerful feature of the C and C++, whereas here in a Java they are going to eliminate the pointer variable. Okay, in this session we cover the features of a Java, first compiler and interpreter, then after the next one, platform independent and portable, object oriented, robust and secure. Okay, in our next session we are going to observe the next feature of the Java, that is a Java is a distributed language. Thank you friends. uh, Take care. Thank you very much.